Bipartisanship is often applauded in Congress, but seldom rewarded. Let me repeat that. Bipartisan is often applauded, but seldom rewarded, which is an important part of why we have been unable to pass any meaningful immigration reform in this body for years. I've worked with good men and women on the other side of the aisle on many occasions to advance immigration reform, but none of those efforts forced the Speaker of the House, whether he or she was at the time, to allow a vote, except for the time the House passed the DREAM Act in 2010. I continue to work with partners on the other side because I know if a vote is allowed, those who see immigrants and immigration as important assets to this country will prevail. And it will take Democrats and Republicans working together to enact common sense immigration reform. Just this week, the gentleman from Colorado, Republican Mike Coffin, and I worked together to demand statistics from the Department of Homeland Security to determine if the Trump administration is complying with federal court orders on the renewal of DACA applications and to get more information on the DACA processing backlogs. Working with Republicans doesn't win me many friends among Democrats who spend their days trying to defeat people like Mr. Kaufman. They would probably prefer I stop working with him. As I said, bipartisanship is often praised, but seldom rewarded. And secondly, bipartisanship is more than just signing your name. Jeff Denham of California and some other Republicans are promoting an idea that has a great deal of merit, the so-called Queen of the Hill rule, which has almost 50 Republican co-sponsors and all the Democrats, myself included. This rule calls for a debate and votes in the House on a series of immigration reform bills, some of which would address the vulnerability of Dreamers and their families to deportation. It's an unprecedented bipartisanship action to demand an immigration vote, and I support it wholeheartedly. But so far, all the Republicans have had to do is sign their names as co-sponsors. The next step should be that we demand that Speaker Ryan bring the rule and the related bills to the floor for a vote through a discharge petition. You see, working with people from the other side of the aisle is just one aspect of bipartisanship. When the rubber meets the road is when you take on the leaders of your own party in order to achieve a bipartisan goal. When I got arrested protesting President Obama's treatment of Dreamers and migrants, I didn't win any popularity contests within the Democratic caucus. My colleagues were quick to defend the president and the Democratic speaker at the time. I was shunned and passed over many times by my own team. And later, when I and other Democrats worked with Judge Carter and Sam Johnson and Raul Labrador to find bipartisan immigration solutions in the 113th Congress, members of my own party told me to stay away. Right here on this floor, they told me, don't help Republicans solve their immigration problem. But I didn't stay away, and I kept working with Republicans until they walked away. They were unwilling to take on their own party in the end. Speaker Boehner backed away when the chips were down. Speaker Ryan came to my district in Chicago and talked about moving forward on immigration with me standing by his side. But we're still waiting for him to put skin in the game. And that is what it will take, taking a courageous position even in the face of opposition from your own party. So, the 48 Republicans who joined Denham's Queen of the Hill rule calling for immigration votes should not declare mission accomplished just yet. Your country needs you. Right now, today, we need your courage in addition to your signature. Sign a discharge petition to bring about the vote on immigration solution for Dreamers. That puts your skin in the game. You may not get invited to the next state dinner or fly on Air Force One, but you will have done a service to your nation. A discharge petition on the Denham bill says you are willing to expend your personal reputation and political capital to do what is right and what is necessary in a time of great hatred and divisiveness at the highest levels over immigrants, refugees, and asylum seekers. Will you be praised for your bipartisan courage? I hope so. Will you be rewarded by other politicians or activists in your own party or voters in mine? Probably not. Which is exactly my point. It's hard, it's thankless, but your country needs help that only Republicans in Congress can provide to put pressure on your own Republican leadership. I and a lot of my colleagues will work with you, stand by you, support you, but we need you to lead the way.
The chair will remind